बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज ये मैं वीडियो रिकॉर्ड कर रहा हूँ टू फैसिलिटेट लॉट ऑफ यूजुअली इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट्स फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान। और मुझे अक्सर इस तरह के सवाल आते हैं मैसेजेस में, ग्रुप्स में, अबाउट डिफरेंट कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज़ इन टैक्स फाइलिंग, जो कि F1 वीज़ा पे या J1 वीज़ा पे यूएसए में पढ़ रहे हैं। वो अपना टैक्सेस किस तरह फाइल करेंगे। Before I start giving you any further information about what I know about taxes, I do want to mention that this is not a legal. Um, I'm not a legal aid, or any of the information I'm providing in here is not a legal advice or tax advice. You can always refer to any CPA or professionals in this matter. All I'm sharing in this video is whatever the maximum I know about it, so that I can use this video in future for people who are asking me questions. I can share this video with them, and they can get the maximum knowledge out of it. तो स्टार्ट करते हैं। बेसिकली जो मेरा मेन ऑडियंस है, दैट इज़ पाकिस्तानी नेशनल स्टूडेंट्स हु आर नेशनल ऑफ पाकिस्तान एंड नाउ दे आर स्टडिंग इन यूएसए ऑन F1 or J1 visa. I don't know a lot about J1 visa, but I can share my experiences on usually F1 visa. But most of the rules are similar. Even most of the things are similar uh, for even different visas, because tax filing has very little to do with what visa type you are on in USA. Uh, the main discussion in tax filing is being resident or non-resident. Uh, about about this complex topic of being resident or non-resident, I will share some information, and then eventually it will be your call, how, or your legal's call, that how you want to file your taxes. So let's start. First of all, whenever you start filing your taxes, it is a mandatory requirement, as of what I know. If you have any income in the US, or US connected income, or income sources which are connected to US in different ways. For these details, you can always again go back to. So each of my sentence will have probably a whole book or whole bunch of documentation on IRS website. So or for all those rules and for all those things, you probably have to consult with them, or very specific questions, you can always send me text or comment on this video, and then we'll figure it out, or we can ask some legals to advise us on this specific matter. Okay, first of all, the first topic is being resident or non-resident. So there are different criteria which you can actually see and find out if you are a resident or you are not a resident for the tax purposes. This thing is totally different from the resident term in immigration. So this is usually for any country, that you are filing the taxes as a resident in that country, or you are not filing or you are filing as a non-resident. So for example, we are talking about students who are Pakistani nationals and studying in USA. So I will start sharing my screen here, and I have already opened this tab here, but if you wanna look at it, I just searched this phrase on Google, FBR, tax filing as resident. I was supposed to be writing for non-residents. So because because I wrote FBR, or you can also write FBR Pakistan, so you will see this income tax basics. So that's what I clicked on, because I'm searching from a different IP address, so Google was automatically showing me first result from IRS, but what we're actually looking for is FBR. So there are multiple things you need to consider. One is for the tax year. So in US, the tax year is starting from January 1st and ending on December 31st. So, if you have been filing in Pakistan, you must be knowing that the fiscal year in Pakistan for tax purposes is different than this um timeline. So, in USA टैक्स ईयर जनवरी फर्स्ट से स्टार्ट होता है और दिसंबर 31st तक चलता है। तो आप जो भी टैक्स फाइल कर रहे हैं इन द स्टार्ट ऑफ 2025 वो एक्चुअली 2024 कंप्लीट की बात हो रही है। तो अब हम जितने भी दिनों की बात करेंगे या और भी चीज़ों की बात करेंगे तो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट टाइम फ्रेम। तो सबसे पहले जो चीज़ है वो ये मैटर करती है कि डिड यू हैव एनी इनकम इन पाकिस्तान फॉर दैट टैक्स ईयर। So you need to figure out that whether that income is taxable in Pakistan. I always recommend everyone to file taxes in all the countries you have income from, usually in this case Pakistan and USA, uh, because that is our legal responsibility and also it is ethical to do that. Even though you are not liable to pay any taxes, filing tax or filing the tax return is mandatory in Pakistan in any case. So um, this page here is showing me some of the very basics, and the main thing we are looking here is um, who is going to file in Pakistan as a resident or who is going to file in Pakistan as non-resident. So usually in all the countries, this is usually the requirement of being a resident for that country. So आप कहाँ पे ज़्यादा देर रहे हैं उस एक साल में। सो 183 days इज़ ऑलमोस्ट लिटिल मोर देन हाफ ऑफ द ईयर। तो बेसिकली आप जिस मुल्क में आधे साल से ज़्यादा रहे हैं दैट कंट्री हैज़ अ राइट टू क्लेम यू एज अ रेजिडेंट फॉर दैट कंट्री। और दिस रूल इज़ द सेम फॉर पाकिस्तान। तो अगर आप फॉल सेमेस्टर में आए हैं तो फॉर श्योर आप अगस्त या इवन अगर आप बहुत अर्ली आए तो आप जुलाई में आए होंगे। तो in that case, for that year, you are resident of Pakistan for tax purposes. And I will next show you in one of the similar publications in IRS that you are not a resident of USA for that 1 year, irrespective of any visa or those all limitations are later uh, will be discussed later. तो ये पहला पॉइंट हमारा हो गया कि अगर आप फॉल में आए हैं तो आपने उस साल का नॉन रेजिडेंट फाइल करना है। अब इसके बाद जो रेजिडेंट की डिबेट है वील गो बैक। तो ये हमने यहाँ से कंक्लूड किया है कि मतलब आप पाकिस्तान के रेजिडेंट हैं। And another thing is also in IRS publication, if you didn't live 183 days if you were not physically present in USA for 183 days, you are for sure not resident. तो ये दोनों चीज़ें ने मिला के हमें यहाँ पे हमने ये डिड्यूस किया कि you are resident of Pakistan and not a resident of USA. Now that for the next step, I will go to, it is called publication 519 of IRS, which is actually tax guide for aliens. Now this text guide gives you different keywords for aliens, and that is non-resident alien and resident alien. So that's what I meant when I said this resident is not the same keyword resident for the used for immigration purpose. तो आप resident हो सकते हैं, but you will still be an alien resident. That was on the fun side. Okay. So this document actually gives you the definition of resident. So just like um, income tax basics on FBR website, they had a very crispy definition, and then of course there will be some very detailed definition, and for very complex cases they will have a similar publication in the backend, which probably they will have attached somewhere in this page or maybe somewhere else. But IRS really lack that kind of very short information. So whenever you'll see any document, it will be like detailed document for everything. So non-resident aliens. So these are the definitions of non-resident. So non-resident alien, they didn't define anything. Rather, they said if you are a resident alien, you're a resident alien. But if you are not resident alien, you're automatically defined non-resident. So for resident, these are the tests you can do. So for example, if you have a green card for any time in that year, so you'll be a resident. But that's not our discussion. So we'll just move to the next test. So of course, none of the F1 people will actually hold a green card. That's why they're F1. The next test is a substantial presence test. Okay, that's where I get a lot of queries. So how do you calculate days on a substantial presence test? Um, for example, um, so the publication I opened is 2023 publication 519. So most of the examples in this publication will be 2023. So for example, we are talking about calendar year 2023. Okay, so consider that you are in 2024, you are filing taxes for 2023. For this year, of course, you can just add +1 and you can consider 2024. So you need to complete these. So you should be physically present in the USA for the tax year for 31 days for sure. It can't be 0, it can't be 30, it can't be 29. So if it is, then of course you fail this test. And the second requirement is, so most of the people when they are filing taxes, usually this number is more than 31, so usually we don't really talk about it. Most of the queries we get is from this part. Okay, so 183 days during the 3 year period that include 2023 and 2 साल उससे पहले के. तो अगर 24 की बात कर रहे हैं तो 2022, 2023 और 2024. तो इसमें अब आपने वो सारे दिन जो आप टैक्स ईयर में, अभी मैं एग्जांपल वापस 2023 पे लाता हूँ ताकि हम थोड़ा सा इस डॉक्यूमेंट के साथ अपने आप को मैच कर सकें. तो 2023 में जितने भी दिन आप यहाँ पे रहे थे वो सारे दिन कैलकुलेट करेंगे, और फिर उसके बाद जितने दिन आप रहे थे 2022 में उसको आप मल्टीप्लाई करें 1/3 से, और उसके बाद 2021 में जितने दिन आप यूएसए में थे फिजिकली प्रेजेंट उसको आप मल्टीप्लाई करें 1/6 से. नाउ ऐड ऑल दोज नंबर्स. तो अगर ये सारा जो कंप्लीट नंबर है ये 183 बनता है, तो देन यू पास द सब्सटेंशियल प्रेजेंस टेस्ट. ओके. अब इसमें जो क्यूरीज आती हैं वो कुछ इस तरह की होती हैं कि फॉर एग्जांपल मैं यूएस में आया था जून में, एंड देन आई स्टेड हियर जून से लेके दिसंबर तक. तो जून की लेट्स कंसिडर जून 10th. ओके, तो ये जो टोटल नंबर ऑफ डेज हैं जून 10th से लेके दिसंबर 31 तक, this is more than 183 days. So what people usually ask questions is probably is not really easy for me to describe what they ask, because in the way I explained it, probably it is very clear that this guy is passing substantial presence test, because just the number of days in that year are more than 183 days. So even though ये 1/3 and 1/6 in 2021 ये 0 है, तो 0 plus 0 plus whatever the days he spent in 2023 combines up to 183 or more. So he's already passing it. But for example, some complex scenarios could be मैं fall में आया था, अगस्त में आया था मैं, और अगस्त, सितंबर, नवंबर, दिसंबर, probably 4 months is 120, 130 days. Last year I was in Pakistan for the whole year, but उससे पहले मैं मास्टर्स के लिए या किसी और डिग्री के लिए यूएसए में आया था. तो उस साल में भी मैं यहाँ पे प्रॉब्ली 4 महीने 6 महीने रहा था, या मैं जनवरी से लेके मई तक, आई वाज ग्रेजुएटिंग इन मई, तो मैं 5 महीने उसमें भी रहा था. तो 120 150 डेज वो बन गए. तो अब अगर इन सब को भी काउंट करके 183 बन रहे हैं किसी भी मेथड से, तो सिंपल इज़ कि आपने सारे के सारे दिन 2023 के 1/3 of 2022 and 1/6 of 2021, add them up, that's your number. Some of the years could be zero, that's my point. But still, if you add them up और 183 बन रहा है या उससे larger number बन रहा है, तो you are passing substantial presence test. Okay, there are examples. Good. आप ये भी यहाँ से देख के समझ सकते हैं. There are more examples, by the way, in the end of this document, probably, which I remember. तो ये थोड़ी सी complexities हैं, not really related to Pakistan, so I'm skipping them. I also never probably went through these. This is really for Mexico and Canada, for the people who are actually commuting daily to USA. So whether they count those days or they don't. Okay. ये उसके बाद next part is exempt individual. So when you are counting those 183 days for substantial presence test, there is a smaller part which allows you, which makes you exempt, not from the taxes, by the way. Exempt का मतलब ये नहीं समझ लेना कि आपने टैक्स नहीं फाइल करना. Exempt हैं आप, या आपके वो सारे दिन जो आपने काउंट करने हैं 183 कंप्लीट करने के लिए. तो अब आपने सिर्फ वो दिन गिनने हैं जो इसमें काउंट नहीं होते, तो then your substantial presence test will be legitimate. That's what this statement says. All this part you can also pause the video and go through it. A student who is temporarily present in the United States under an FJMQ visa who substantially complies with the requirements of the visa. तो अगर आप F visa पे हैं and you are temporarily present and you are substantially complying with the requirements of visa, मीन्स कि आप अभी भी यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ रहे हैं और जो भी रिक्वायरमेंट्स है F1 की, नो दिस इज एन इमिग्रेशन टॉपिक एंड डोंट वांट टू टॉक अबाउट इट, बट दिस इज व्हाट दिस डॉक्यूमेंट सेज. ओके, तो यू डू नॉट काउंट दोज डेज. तो इसकी एक बड़ी सिंपल सी इंटरप्रिटेशन ये भी बनती है कि आप वो सारे दिन जो कि आप F1 पे थे, तो जितने भी दिन हमने पहले काउंट किए हैं कि आप मास्टर्स के लिए आए थे, आप उसके लिए आए थे, आप उसके लिए आए थे, तो उन सब में आप F या J वीज़ा पे थे, तो जस्ट डोंट काउंट ऑल दोज डेज and your substantial presence test is failing and you can file as non-resident. Okay, so this thing is established. If you want to file as non-resident, I guess this statement supports you. Okay, and then one, yes, also this part is helpful. You can go through it. And also closer connection to a foreign country. That is also somehow related to substantial presence test. मैं इसके ऊपर बहुत डिटेल में बात इसलिए नहीं कर रहा कि दिस इज़ अ लिटिल बिट सेंसिटिव टॉपिक एंड it could be very misleading if I just show you some little examples and you miss some of the facts about your personal situation. तो इसके मैं आपको तरीके बाद में बताता हूँ कि आपने ये कैसे फिगर आउट करना है कि whether you file it as resident or non-resident. But these are some of the information which could be helpful when you go to maybe a lawyer or CPA to do taxes. If you provide all this information, probably it will be helpful for him to for the CPA to figure it out correctly. Okay, so also read this closer connection in a foreign country, this part here, or you could have closer connection to two countries. Okay, now important part is if you exclude those days और आप non-resident file करना चाह रहे हैं, तो then you have to file this form 8843 as well. Okay, तो ये सारी जो है ना ये चीज़ें आपने इसके अंदर, और फिर आपने इसको अपने टैक्स रिटर्न के साथ ही सेंड करना है, और ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन यहाँ पे लिखी हुई है. Okay, you had an application bank adjustment. Okay, there is one more thing which I wanted to discuss. This line here, okay? You cannot be an exempt individual as a student in 2023 if you have been exempt as a teacher, trainee, or student for any part of more than 5 calendar years unless you meet both of the following requirements. Okay, अच्छा अब पहला स्टेप था substantial presence test, but substantial presence test में you do not count those days which you were F or J or those visas, but उसके अंदर अब एक now there is another um, sub part in that you are not exempt means that you count towards your substantial presence test those days when you have already passed 5 calendar years when you were first time exempt individual. So what does this mean? I came in USA in 2000, let's say 17 for maybe on J visa as an exchange student or maybe U grad or any different program. So I was exempt individual at that time because I was in J visa and I was physically present in USA. So that first day when I landed in USA, that was my, or the second day was, that was my first day as exempt individual. So take that date, maybe that was July 27th, 2017. 5 calendar years is July 17th, 2022. So any days after July 27, 2022, even though I am on F or J visa, I am not exempt individual. That means कि अब July 27, 2022 जब 5 साल पूरे हो गए उस पहले दिन को जब मैं exempt individual था तो इसके बाद से ये दिन मैंने anyways काउंट करने हैं even though I'm F और J और all those visas mentioned MQ visas. तो ये यूजुअली इंफॉर्मेशन उन लोगों के लिए है जो कभी एक्सचेंज पे या कभी मास्टर्स के लिए या कभी पहले 5 साल पहले कभी आए थे उसके बाद वो 5 साल अच्छा इसकी कुछ गलत इंटरप्रिटेशन ये है कि 5 साल तक मैं यूएसए में रहा और उसके बाद मैं रेजिडेंट हूँ नॉट दिस इज इनकरेक्ट इंटरप्रिटेशन करेक्ट इंटरप्रिटेशन इज in any part of sorry what does it say for any part of more than 5 calendar years this part तो अगर आप 5 साल 5 calendar years काउंट 5 calendar years उसमें अगर आप कभी भी एग्जाम्प्ट इंडिविजुअल रह चुके हैं तो देन यू आफ्टर 5 years यू स्टॉप काउंटिंग इट ओके देन उसके अंदर एक और शिक है कि यू कैन स्टिल काउंट इफ यू वांट even after 5 years you can still count those days and still claim to be a non-resident in USA if you establish that you do not intend to reside permanently in the United States. Now, how do you establish it? That's again probably more related to immigration questions, or if you go back to closer connection to foreign country or a closer connection to USA or intend to stay in USA, though you can probably see all those things like what does it mean when you say intend to reside or intend to leave, and you have substantially complied with the requirements of visa. Now, this also provides you some information about whether you take affirmative steps to change your status from non-immigrant to lawful permanent resident. So probably if you have filed I-485 or probably this list was somewhere. That list was somewhere here, right? Yes. When you cannot have a closer connection. So if you have taken any of these, then you are not, you don't have a closer connection to a foreign country. Okay, I think we need to pace up. It's already taking 25. It's already taken 25 minutes. Okay, once you establish you are resident or non-resident, okay, I said I will tell you how do you do that. Either you can go to a CPA who can give you proper, more customized advice on your specific case, whether you should file as resident or non-resident. But one thing for sure, if you're filing as resident in Pakistan, then you're not filing as resident in USA. And also remember, another thing is there is a helpline number of IRS. You can also call them and they provide you free guidance or they answer your questions. So probably is also a good idea. You can call them and tell your scenario and probably they will be able to advise you on this matter, whether you should file as resident or non-resident. Okay, if you establish that you are filing as non-resident, what you have to do is okay, I'll tell you both ways. One is the most manual way, the actual on ground way, which is filing this form 1040 NR. Okay, so this form is non-resident alien income tax return. So this is the form, only 2 pages, but still it is very scary. शुरू में तो बड़ा अच्छा लगता है सब कुछ, हाँ नाम में लिख लूँगा, एड्रेस में लिख लूँगा, अपार्टमेंट नंबर तो मुझे पता है. You write your SSN, of course, and everything else. If you have dependents, you write all that. Filing status. Yeah, one thing is, as a non-resident, you cannot file as married filing, like jointly filing with your spouse. You cannot do that. So if your spouse is also having some income, or she's also on, or he's also on F1 visa or some other visa which allow them to do work in USA and they have an income stream, uh, they have to file their own taxes. You cannot file jointly. Okay, now this is income effectively connected with US trade or business. So this is all the information which we'll be mentioning here. Most common information you have to put in this is all the income you have in W2. Okay, all the income you have in W2 and some of the information you may have, which I've seen recently with people, is they get sometimes income in terms of when you open a bank account, you get some bonus money. Uh, Lately, probably all banks are giving some $200, $300 on opening a checking account with them. So that money is also taxable. So 1099 form they will provide you. They show it as interest-based income. So that income is also going into your total income pool, which is US connected input income. Okay, and then each line is telling you what do you have to put in them. So mostly all these lines go empty. This is already reserved. And then you add all those lines from 1 through H, all the incomes. And this one, when you're filing a non-resident, you have a tax treaty with your country. So, for example, with Pakistan, this is probably 5,000 or 6,000. You can also see those treaty documents. You can also, I can show you here, US Pakistan tax treaty. Either you can open IRS website or you can just go from FBI. This is the same document of 1957. So when these countries had this um, thing established, so if you are from Pakistan and you are earning in USA, what are the resident, non-resident rules and everything is applying to you, and what income is taxable in Pakistan, what income is taxable in USA, what is what income you get in USA is taxable in Pakistan, what income you get in Pakistan is taxable in all those different scenarios. You can find everything in this document. And this document tells you that you are exempted from some of the income you get in USA. That is probably 5,000, I guess. That number goes here. Okay. And also you need to fill schedule OI, which was, you can just write 1040 NR again here. And this is actually one of the schedules with 1040 NR. Okay, so this form is specifically for 1040 NR, and again you fill all this information, um, and you fill all these days which give you which actually give them to assess that, and also it gives you double check that okay, what you are doing is correct or not. So counting all those days, and it will give you the exact number of days you lived in USA. Okay, so you attach this with NR, add that 5,000 number here, and then you add all those lines 1C, which was that upper sum, this one, add all lines 1 through H, and then you add 2B, which will be most probably coming from your 1099 if you have any interest-based income, or maybe different numbers. But the point is you have to add all those numbers, and this is your total effectively connected income in USA. Okay, this may not be the total um, taxable income. Okay, um, then if you have any adjustments, schedule 1, you can also open schedule 1 here. Okay, schedule 1 is actually a schedule of 1040, not 1040 NR. Okay, so we can 1040. So additional income and adjustments for income. So if you have any of them, you can also fill schedule 1, and that income will be coming here. And then you add 9 and 10 here, right? So 11 will give you adjusted, or like overall gross income um, of that year. Okay. Now itemized deductions or standard deduction. So because this is NR, we're talking about non-resident filing. You don't have any standard deductions. Rather, you just have this treaty. I've seen some other, yeah, residents of India, they have a specific number for standard deduction, which is probably 12,000 or something. But in your case, probably this doesn't take any number, or you can check in detail with this Schedule A and the, the income tax basics I told you about. Okay, then you add everything from the deductions, which will go to your line 14, and then you take 14 and 11, means all the deductions. So okay, this is important to understand. For example, my total adjusted income for this year was 11,000. Okay, and I am from Pakistan, and my tax treaty says that 5,000 is exempted for my taxes, is my exempted income in USA. So my taxable income is 11,000 minus 5,000, which is 6,000. So I will be taxed on 6,000. Don't worry, you don't have to pay yet. We'll see in the next section that how much you have paid already. तो ये जो आपका नंबर है, ये यहाँ पे आपकी टैक्सेबल इनकम आ गई है, जो मैंने आपको भी एग्जांपल दी कि 11,000 और माइनस 5,000 आपके टैक्स ड्यूटी की वजह से आपको नॉन टैक्सेबल इनकम हो गई, तो आपकी जो बाकी टैक्सेबल इनकम है दिस इज 6,000। ओके, अब ये वो सेक्शन है जहाँ पे आप ये बताएंगे कि आपने कितना टैक्स ऑलरेडी आईआरएस को आपके बिहाफ पे आपके एम्प्लॉयर ने जमा करवा दिया हुआ है। तो फॉर एग्जांपल इफ इन अ यूनिवर्सिटी यू हैव अ कैंपस जॉब, दिस मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली यू आर फाइलिंग द टैक्सेस फॉर, तो यूनिवर्सिटी आपके बिहाफ पे कुछ टैक्स ऑलरेडी आपके पे चेक से डिडक्ट करके आईआरएस को जमा करवा रही थी सारा साल, और दैट्स द इंफॉर्मेशन यू गेट ऑन W2। तो W2 पे जो सेकंड, आई कैन शो यू W2 एज वेल। ओके, W2 sample filled। Okay, this is, can I just open the image? Okay, so for example, this is a lot of income, probably not enough fun. Okay, so this is box one of W2, which is your total income, and this is your taxes withheld with IRS already. तो जब एम्प्लॉयर आपको W2 देता है तो इसका मतलब ये है कि आपको ऑलरेडी आपको सर्टिफाई किया जा रहा है, आपको बताया जा रहा है, दिस इज ऑलरेडी रिपोर्टेड टू आईआरएस एज वेल, कि इतना टैक्स आपने ऑलरेडी आईआरएस को जमा करवा दिया हुआ है। तो अब अगर आपका जो टैक्स ड्यू है वो इससे ज़्यादा बनता है तो देन यू हैव टू पे फ्रॉम योर पॉकेट, और अगर इससे कम बनता है एक्चुअल में जो अभी हम टैक्स फाइल से देख रहे हैं, तो देन यू गेट दैट रिफंड बैक। सो दैट्स द होल स्टोरी। I also got a query a couple of days ago about this social security wages and Medicare wages and tips. तो अगर आप नॉन रेजिडेंट फाइल कर रहे हैं तो this whole tax wasn't supposed to be cut from your paycheck. Not as a non-resident, you're not liable for these social security and Medicare taxes. तो आपको ये पैसे भी वापस मिलने चाहिए। उसका भी मैं आपको तरीका बाद में बताऊंगा कि हाउ डू यू डू दैट। दे आर फॉर्म्स टू क्लेम दैट बैक। और जो क्वेश्चन था वो ये था कि इज माई टोटल इनकम this box and this box and you add them, is not true. This is your total income. Okay, ये वो इनकम है जिसके अगेंस्ट आपका टैक्स कटा है, सोशल सिक्योरिटी टैक्स, और ये वो इनकम है जिसके अगेंस्ट आपका मेडिकेयर का टैक्स कटा है। तो दिस इज नॉट योर एक्चुअल total income. Your total income is this box one, which was directly going to this W2 box one. That's what I was saying, right? तो अब ये जो second part है, we'll take this one and you will fill through all of this. So you will attach schedule 2, which is other taxes. Probably if you were taxed on when you were getting the money from the bank on opening checking account 1099, then probably that one goes through schedule 2. Otherwise I guess you don't have to fill schedule 2, or you can also see in detail and read those documents. Okay, but the short story is this is the box where you put your complete uh, tax you have already given to IRS for this year. Okay, so these are taxes paid or any credits you have towards IRS. Maybe last year you filed taxes and you didn't get money back from IRS, so that is also your credit. This is one example. There could be many more. And sorry, I was wrong about that one. So this is your total, this is your total tax which you were supposed to be paying, but this is the part which you have already paid. Okay, so this is your form W2. Tax is coming in, which is this box here. 4,092 in this case. And then this is from 1099 tax if they deducted your tax. Otherwise, this one is also going to zero. Okay, and then you combine total payments. Now, if line 33 with this one, total payments, is more than line 24, this is your total tax, which was supposed to be, which is your total calculated tax based on your income. And the income brackets are as follows: IRS income tax. So taxable income. You don't see the complete income. So the example we took was 11,000 minus 5,000 because of tax treaty. Now you get taxable income of 6,000. So now you are in this bracket. So your income tax rate is 10%. So for 6,000, your tax due is 600. So that 600 comes in here. This is your total tax. And now, for example, you had paid a total of 1,200 already. If I go by normal numbers, maybe you had paid 1,100 because 11,000 probably your tax department has got 10% from your taxes, considering 10% bracket, and they didn't consider, for example, your tax treaty, and now you're filing your taxes to claim that. So in this case, you have overpaid how much? 500. So now this overpaid amount will be refunded to you. Now, if for some reason your total tax was 600, but you didn't pay that much, or the tax department didn't deduct correct amount of taxes from your salary, and you paid 200, in that case, this whole refund part is useless, and actually you owe some amount to IRS. So in that case, that number comes in here, the amount you owe. That will be, in this case, 600 minus 200, so you still owe 400 to IRS. So that will be coming in here. Okay. Now, if you're paying late or there is some tax penalty because of that, then probably that amount comes in here. And if you go back and see instructions of 1040 NR, they will tell you how you can pay those taxes. They are probably they take payment online as well. I've never been through this paying taxes. Usually, in most cases, you'll be already overpaid and you'll be getting a refund. Okay, so that was NR. Hard way. That was hard way. That's why it took me about 15, 20 minutes to just explain some very little information. By the way, eventually when you file this form, you probably will have two, three, four different schedules or different annex, like we were seeing in all those boxes, right? So we need to attach, for example, this schedule. We need to attach maybe schedule 1 we saw somewhere, right? So we probably have to file like multiple schedules to fill those forms as well. Okay, easy way. So filing this way, you just need to fill up those forms, print them, sign them, put date on them, put it in an envelope, and just post it. And the postal address is written in the instructions. You just see that thing and make a label on USPS, or just go to USPS or FedEx or any other service. I prefer USPS, and prefer prefer priority, but you can also do ground. But take some service which has a tracking number so that you can actually track that your package is received by IRS or not, or delivered to IRS actually. That won't really tell you if they received or not. You can probably use signature service, I'm not sure, but okay. Now this is one way. Easier way is there are softwares who actually do the same thing which I did in last 20 minutes to explain you what do you put in those boxes. Okay. Uh, Most of those softwares are not really supporting non-resident taxes filing. So you have very limited options. If you just Google non-resident tax filing softwares, so sponsored. I'll just skip that. And Spintax. So Spintax is the most common one. You must have heard from your university and other friends. And another one which I recently heard about was, it's not listed on page one, is Glacier Tax Prep. I tried to open this, but this web page wasn't looking very nice, so I wasn't sure if this is a really helpful website. But I guess this is free, so you don't have to pay anything. But if you choose to use, there could be other. I'm not really sure, but this is the most common one is Printex. Okay, so but the problem is Printex takes $55 from your pocket to do whatever I did in past 30 minutes. I can't really go through everything. It will be very long, but the whole purpose of this tax filing software is to make it easy for you. And if it is not really making it easy, you can go back and open those forms and fill it by yourself. Okay, yeah, मेरा ख्याल है it will be very long to go through all this print text, but इनके काफ़ी सिंपल सिंपल से सवाल हैं। मिसाल के तौर पे सब्सटेंशियल प्रेजेंस टेस्ट है, तो आपको खुद नहीं देखना पड़ेगा, या आपसे पूछेंगे कि अच्छा कितने दिन आप यूएसए में थे, आप पिछले साल में कितने दिन थे, उससे पिछले साल में कितने दिन थे, उससे पिछले साल में कितने दिन थे, और वो उन सारे नंबर्स को आपस में ऐड करेंगे और आपको बताएंगे कि भाई आप नॉन रेजिडेंट हैं, रेजिडेंट हैं, सब्सटेंशियल प्रेजेंस टेस्ट आपने पास किया है, नहीं किया है, आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी कौन सी है, आप कहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हैं। तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपसे वो सारे फॉर्म्स और वो सारा कुछ फिल करके आपको टोटल एक टैक्स पैकेट बना के आपको दे देंगे। उसके बाद ई फाइल भी आप कर सकते हैं। आई रिमेम्बर 1-2 साल पहले तक आप ई फाइल नहीं कर सकते थे, प्रॉब्ली स्पेंट एक्सपोर्ट नहीं करता था या नॉन रेजिडेंट नहीं कर सकते थे, बट नाउ आई नो दे यू कैन डू ई फाइलिंग। सो ई फाइलिंग में सबसे बड़ा फ़ायदा ये होगा कि आप को वो प्रिंट नहीं करना पड़ेगा, साइन नहीं मतलब प्रिंट करके साइन नहीं करने पड़ेंगे, और उसके बाद वो पोस्ट बॉक्स और उसका ट्रैकिंग और सारी चीज़ें ख़त्म हो जाएंगी। आप जस्ट क्लिक, इट विल बी सबमिटेड टू आईआरएस, 2-3 days later you will get a confirmation that IRS received it, और आपका रिफंड प्रोसेस हो जाएगा। तो you can also try this. One more thing is usually from your international office, some universities provide you a coupon code for Sprintex, जिसके बाद आपके लिए इसमें टैक्स फ्री हो जाएगा, तो आपको $55 भी पे नहीं करने पड़ेंगे। तो अगर तो इस तरह का केस है तो फिर तो फॉर श्योर आई वुड प्रेफर स्पेंट टैक्स विच इज़ फ्रॉम टर्बोटैक्स, फ्रॉम द सेम कंपनी, एंड it is easy, I guess. Okay, so that was everything for non-resident aliens. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and then we'll see if we can further elaborate it. Okay, for the residents, there are many softwares, um, and there are many free softwares, so um, you don't really have to look into the form, but I will still go through it. We're talking about 1049. So for residents, if you're filing as resident, this is the form. This is similar as 1040 NR. A lot of things are almost same. What's not same is now you can file as married, filing jointly. Um, if you are F1, your wife is F2, um, or your husband is F2, and your spouse doesn't have work authorization, so of course they don't have any income. Even in that case, you can file as jointly, and that gives you a little advantage on standard deductions. Standard deduction is again the part which is not taxable. So for example, in the previous case I said Pakistan treaty, there was 5,000. if you are resident, that standard deduction for this year is deduction. So for single, it is 14,600. For people who are married and filing jointly is 29,200. So that means your $29,200 up till this amount, all your income is not taxable. If you are filing resident and you are married and you are filing jointly, that means if you got 11,000, your total tax is zero. If you got 20,000 in a year, your total tax is zero. If you got 25,000, your total tax is zero. Then you can also file as head of household. Again, we have to go through the documentation to see more details on when or when not you can be head of household. But in most cases, if you are married, you can easily file married filing jointly. You have to get signature from your spouse, by the way, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, then everything else goes similar, and again, this is all the same information. And this part, standard deduction or itemized deduction, is where you put those numbers. 29,200, that was the number, right? 29,200 if you are filing jointly, or otherwise 14,600. And this is your total income from the W-2. If you have any income from 1099, that goes, I guess that goes here, taxable interest. Okay, and now this is your taxable income. You take whatever number is here, whatever number is here, you add them, you add everything 1A to 1H, and then you add everything in here, total tax income. Now this is your adjustable gross income, which will be same if you don't have any other income source in most cases, and then your taxable income. You subtract those numbers. So for example, your adjusted income was, let's put some numbers here, it was 22,000, and your standard deduction, you are married and you're filing jointly, was 29,200. So your taxable income is zero. Okay, and the tax is, the total taxes are zero. And now if your W-2, if your employer has deducted some of the taxes from your paycheck for some reason, um, that number goes in here from your W-2. And now because that number went in here, आपका जो टोटल पेमेंट्स हैं, वो टोटल जो आपने W-2 पे पे किया, वो सारा नंबर इधर आ जाएगा, जैसे मैंने NR में किया था। और इसके बाद अब अगर आपने ओवर पे किया, आपका टोटल टैक्स जीरो बन रहा है। अगर इस केस में जो भी नंबर है, इन दोनों को सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे, तो आपके पास टोटल ओवर पेड टैक्स आ जाएगा, और दिस होल अमाउंट विल बी रिफंडेड टू यू। ऑल्सो आई डिडंट मेंशन इन द प्रीवियस वन, यहाँ पे आप अपना अकाउंट का राउटिंग नंबर और अकाउंट नंबर डाल के भी सेंड कर सकते हैं। ये सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन अगर आप डालते हैं तो आपको ऑटोमेटिकली रिफंड आपके अकाउंट में आ जाएगा। अदरवाइज़ वो आपके सेम एड्रेस पे आपको चेक देंगे, तो वो चेक आप अपने अकाउंट में डिपॉजिट करवा सकते हैं। This isn't hard way, but because most of the tax filings for resident, there are many tax filing softwares which are free for residents. So I um, I do recommend this website eFile, because this is actually, if you go to IRS, So they have mentioned some websites for free filing. ओके, फ्री फाइलिंग सॉफ्टवेयर्स। तो ये इनमें से आप कोई भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं। तो ये ई फाइल जो है ये इनमें से एक है। और स्टेट टैक्सेस इससे फ्री फाइल नहीं होते, दे चार्ज लिटिल बिट, बट जो फेडरल टैक्सेस हैं वो आप इससे फ्री में फाइल कर सकते हैं। अब स्टेट टैक्सेस के ऊपर आई कांट रियली मेक अ गुड वीडियो बिकॉज देयर आर मैनी स्टेट्स एंड देयर आर मैनी पीपल फ्रॉम डिफरेंट स्टेट्स। अगर किसी एक स्टेट के बारे में कुछ ज़्यादा आता है तो मैं उसके बारे में कुछ स्टडी करके आपसे अपना अपना नॉलेज शेयर कर सकता हूँ, बट एट दिस मोमेंट आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट स्टेट फाइलिंग। एंड ऑफ कोर्स अनदर रीज़न इज़ बिकॉज आई एम इन टेक्सास, आई डोंट हैव टू फाइल स्टेट टैक्स। तो ओके, तो ये फ्री है। इसमें उसी तरह सॉफ्टवेयर है, आपने कुछ इजी से क्वेश्चंस के जवाब देने हैं एंड आपको इवेंचुअली दे विल प्रोवाइड यू ऑल द फॉर्म्स। यू कैन फाइल, यू कैन डू ई फाइल एज वेल। यू कैन आल्सो गेट द फॉर्म्स डाउनलोडेड और आप उसे मैनुअली जमा करवा सकते हैं। Now let me think if we missed anything from here. Yes, that was pretty much it. Okay. There is a form you get from usually from your university, 1098T, which is which looks like this. This is tuition statement. This is your tuition paid to the university. Okay. Uh, this is this is usually people use for getting American Opportunity Credit, but if you are a master's student or you have already completed 4 years of your college degree in US or outside US, you're not eligible for that. So in most cases, international students in USA who are graduate students, this 1098T is not used for tax filing. What else? I'm thinking, but I guess that's everything you need to know. And start filing. You don't have many days left. Probably it's just one more month. And remember, अगर आप फाइल कर रहे हैं on paper with actually posting to IRS, so in that case, remember that it has to reach to IRS before the deadline, and that deadline for this year is April 15th। तो ये ट्यूसडे है, तो मतलब आपने कम से कम उस फ्राइडे तक आपने वो लाजमी पोस्ट कर देना है। और अगर आप ई फाइल कर रहे हैं तो स्टिल आई गेस एक दो दिन का मार्जिन उसमें ज़रूर रखें, क्योंकि अगर आप लेट फाइल करते हैं तो देन इट विल हैव इट्स implications. Okay, so that's everything. This video is already 59 minutes. I never thought it would be that long, but I hope it will help you guys. And if you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. And those who know me personally can always contact me on phone or whatever the resources you have to approach me. All right. Thank you, and have a good day.